We talk about food, we talk about music, with musical dudes. Finger on the pulse, snacky tunes.
All right, you are listening to Snacky Tunes. I'm your host, DJ Never Forget. Sitting across from me is Terry Diabolic.
Yo.
Welcome to this gloomy. I thought it would finally be spring by the time we got back Monday.
Yeah, but so it goes. Apropos for Monday.
I guess so. That was just We Are Scientists. We have Keith with us today. K-Money. We usually have DJs in here, or some of the time. Can we give you a DJ name?
By all means.
DJ Can't Stop. Spelled with a K.
Nice.
Did you have one in mind?
No, that was actually
Thank you.
the one that I knew I would eventually land on.
He is going to be in studio today, talking about new record, playing some live songs acoustically, eating some pizza with us.
Ideally.
And watching the rain through this. I mean, it's a pretty nice view. It's pretty picturesque.
It is. Yeah, I feel like I haven't been on the show forever.
Well, I mean, you weren't here last week, and we took the week off before that, so you're welcome for carrying the weight.
It's been a bit. You know, we've been trudging along, editing Dinner with the Band, which premieres April 27th. And the first episode of Rufus Wainwright is done. Actually, the first two, Mountain Goats, Devil Makes 3, done, packaged, off the network.
Great. And we met Keith because he was playing backup with Lightspeed Champion, who will also be on this, even though we've been seeing you play in New York for... That sounded actually kind of stalkerish. I've been watching you for the last 5 years, but I finally met you.
And I bet you just used Dev
Yeah.
as a conduit to get to me.
This is pretty much, I mean, the whole plan is unraveling. And the fact this is going out to air and being recorded is not going to do very well for me in court.
Yeah.
So
but, we actually just started your episode.
Nice.
Hilarious.
How's it looking? A lot of close-ups
You
on me.
I mean, all close. I mean, I know it's Lightspeed Champion, but it's pretty much the Keith show.
But for all of you who are going to be in New York, we are actually doing a premiere party with Food Party.
Yeah, the other wonderful IFC show that we will be shown together. Adjunct.
Big shout out to Tran and the whole Food Party crew.
Yeah. So April 13th at Santos, we will be doing a big premiere party. Erica and Annie from Alvar Simone are DJing.
Cool.
Vega's going to be DJing. Bad Brilliance and CX Kidtronic will be playing live. we'll be showing stuff from both the upcoming seasons, and Andrew WK will be hosting.
Wow.
So and it's free.
And it's free, and there's free beer and free
Impossible.
food.
Nothing is impossible.
Clearly you guys are making some mistake. Your
I
information
mean,
must be incorrect.
Always on, slightly off.
Yeah.
Bringing you the party.
So we're excited about that. But the reason why Terry has not been in here is because we've pretty much been on the road. First at South by Southwest, which we had talked about last week with Kathy, Irwe, and Udachi. And then this weekend we made our first venture out to WMC in Miami, which was...
It was good.
It was good. I think we kind of... I mean, the problem with... I think being a New Yorker is you always tend to follow your other New Yorkers to events. We were not as experimental.
It's tough. I mean, think back to your first year at any festival. I mean, I think back about my first year at South by Southwest, and it was sort of just, all right, I'm going to go where it's a little safe, just where I know where people are, where I know I can get in, where I'm just going to go and hang. But also with South by, it's like if you go see a band at 2 p.m. on an afternoon, you can walk down the street and see another band at 3. With WMC, Miami was a bit more spread out.
Right.
And it was probably one of the most expensive festivals.
expensive.
I mean,
Were you
it
taking
is.
cabs?
You had to. I mean,
Oh.
you stay in South Beach, and then
Right.
you have to go downtown where everything is.
It's not like you get on 6th Street and you walk.
Right.
I mean, I know there are people who have been to WMC are shaking their heads. They're like novices, but seriously, it's
No,
like...
well, serious. Well, yes,
We are.
But it was actually a fantastic time.
Nice.
It really to see that many powerhouses of DJs
Yeah.
and performers in the same city. It's you do so much in the dance world in New York, and you sort of lose perspective on how the rest of the world. I'm not saying even America, like the rest of Europe and things like that feels about dance music, and they love it.
Yeah,
They really.
it's true.
They really love it. They love those clubs. And we had some good food. We ate at the Standard down there.
Nice.
Which is it's actually interesting. I would say that on whole, sorry Miami, but it's not really known for its cuisine.
It's getting there.
It's getting there.
Building.
It's getting there. I mean, you can put up there with Portland, Maine, where it's it's getting. There's obviously small local places that it's tough to find, but just in general. But we went to go eat at the Standard, and they're for a hotel, not even for a hotel, for a menu itself. You would love it. A lot of vegan options.
Nice.
They
A lot
did the
of-
whole live lasagna thing.
What's
It's a raw. It's raw.
No, I'm leaving. Not this studio.
No.
Miami.
Oh, you're
Next
going,
time-
yeah.
Next time I go, I will leave.
I think
immediately.
that they have that at that raw restaurant in Williamsburg, where essentially it's live lasagna, where it's pretty much all layered vegetables with sauce and everything. It's really good.
Cashews,
Awesome.
raw tomatoes. It was actually really good. And then I had probably the best grilled octopus
Whoa.
ever. I mean, it was so perfect texture on the outside, nice and very tender on the inside, just perfectly cooked. Big shout out to Chef Mark, who's
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of nice. We talked about philosophy of the menu. It's kind of, you go out to eat, and I'm sure as you being a vegetarian, you're just like, oh, it's either the vegetarians quote unquote win or the meat eaters
Right.
quote unquote win. And he's like, I designed it was Uncle Joe who wants a steak can be like, I'll get my because they have a whole grill section, but you're like, hi, I want to eat something that doesn't compromise my dietary restrictions or beliefs, and it's still
Right.
it's still good.
Because I found in Miami, you do a lot of eating at hotels, especially
Yeah.
where we were. And if you're going to go to a hotel, just go to the Standard.
Right.
Seriously.
So we're gonna play a song. One of our favorite bands from last year is putting out a new record. This band called DeLorean from Barcelona, and I believe they were in town this weekend, opening for Mike Snow, which we missed.
Yeah.
Was it?
As did I.
Yeah. Who we saw at? Who I need to reiterate again. Who we both saw at South by Southwest, and it was they were great.
We saw them at 2 separate shows.
Nice.
They were great.
Fantastic.
DeLorean or Mike Snow?
Mike Snow.
We missed on DeLorean. I showed up to Emo's, and they were not letting any more list people in, and got into a little bit of a heated word with the ladies at the door as DeLorean was ripping through what sounded a fantastic set.
Was that just a ruse to keep yourself by the door so you could listen?
No,
That's a good South by move. I will not leave here.
Yeah, but what
until-
that's a long ruse. Could you
Yeah,
keep that game for 45 minutes?
and then also trying to listen to the band as well. You're like, wait a second.
Stop telling me to move. Hold on, this is my favorite song.
Yeah.
Wait, what? But yeah, so it was good. WMC, South by. But let me just say this. It's a long run.
Yeah, this is 2 weeks, the end of March the Hard Way.
Gotcha.
So, but we're gonna play a new song from DeLorean. And then after when we come back, we're gonna have people from the food documentary Fresh talking about the movie and then upcoming events in New York.
Awesome. So you're listening to Snacky Tunes. We're fingering on the pulse. We are scientists in studio. Jack Inslee and Rec Tech producing engineering, and big shout out to TechServe. TechServe is New York's premier authorized Apple reseller and service provider. They service individual customers, creative professionals, and Fortune 100 companies. They've built a solid reputation on its expertise in technology, sales, and service. They believe in honest and forthright business practices. TechServe is a proud sponsor of us. That's right. They keep the lights on. They keep the jams coming. And they promote Heritage Radio Network and sustainable lifestyles. To support sustainability in New York, they're holding a e-waste recycling drive Saturday, April 10th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. I'm assuming that's batteries, computers, electronics, what have you. All the nastiness that you just can't put in the trash. More information, www.techserve.com. Snacky Tunes. Here you go, DeLorean. DeLorean. Crushing it on Snacky Tunes.
Yikes. That
What?
song is called Stay Close. I know.
Watch out for that chair.
Yeah.
It's a jumper.
So you're listening to Snacky Tunes. We're your host, Finger on the Pulse. In studio, Keith from We Are Scientists. Going to be joining us a little bit. But right now, we have Anna from the Fresh documentary on the line. Anna, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You sound busy from all your emails, so thank you for taking some time to talk to us.
Yes. It's a busy time. No, but it's a pleasure.
Yes, so we watched some clips from your documentary, and I had to say it's pretty great because a lot of the food documentaries that I've seen about the current state of the food world in the past years have been like doom and gloom type scenarios. And you guys are seeming to put we know it's bad, but here are some people making some positive changes in the world.
Yes, that's correct. I was kind of tired of the doom and gloom when I started, when I decided to work on Fresh, and I felt that, all of this negativity kind of made me feel disempowered and made it really hard for me to care about, to feel like I could really have an impact. I felt just disconnected and angry and scared, like all kinds of emotions, but nothing positive. And I felt that in order for us to start acting, to start doing something about the problems that we're facing, we have to be inspired, we have to be hopeful. And so Fresh is really about hope. It's about feeling that, when you're doing the right thing, when you do this thing that really is what feels right in your heart, it's good, it has an impact. It has an enormous impact. And so the whole movie is really about hope.
Which is fantastic because I think people that are this being marketed to, or the group that's growing aware, it's like they know that there's a problem. I mean, we are aware every day of this, but finding these small solutions or everyday to-day solutions are really important. You said you came from the doom and gloom camp, and now that you're more in the positive type of reinforcement camp. What are some of the things that you learned from making the documentary that you saw as like small changes that people can make that do end up going a long way?
Well, what's interesting is, the major change that happened is that I let go of cynicism. I felt like, cynicism is so attractive. It makes you feel intelligent. It's like, you really do understand the problems. And so how can you not be cynical? And I think that I kind of realized that it was just as righteous for me to be cynical as if I was optimistic. It's just this belief that the future, and really we don't know what the future holds. So I think we have to be modest and not be either cynical or optimistic. But I think hopefulness is a different feeling. It's one where you realize that you can create the road by walking it, And I think that was an incredible realization. And I think that more specifically, what you're asking me, I had a lot of moments while I was filming, especially on farms, where I really realized the connection of life. When I was on Joel Salatin's farm, and he starts explaining how he moves the cows every day so that they don't overgraze, and so that the grass can really capture as much CO2 as possible and really build soil. And then how he follows the chicken. So that they can clean the paddies, the cow manure, and keep the fields clean, and so you don't need to use antibiotics. And and then he talked about photosynthesis, and he talks about it's like everything like fits into this beautiful kind of web of life. And then you realize, like, hey, I'm part of the web of life. What I do matters too. And it's so hard to feel that way when you live in a city and you're really not connected to anything. You go to the supermarket to buy food. You pick up the telephone to connect with someone, or you go on the internet. Like there's very few sense of really how incredibly connected we are. And I think that once you realize this connection, then you start really seeing how it happens in your life as well. That when I go and buy at my food co-op, I'm a member of the Brooklyn Food Co-op, or at the farmers market, or if you're a member of a CSA, that you're actually allowing to save farmland that's being eroded every day, farmland that's being bought, for development, or farms that are going bankrupt. So you're keeping farmers on the land, farmers that are really our stewards, for conserving the land. You're also like nourishing your body in such a better way. You creating economic vitality in your community. I mean, I can go on and on. You start really seeing how one person can really have this tremendous impact because, you're really just not alone. You're doing this, but it has a ripple effect, So I don't know if this is a very long answer already. I don't know if it makes sense.
getting rid of cynicism is a pretty powerful message. It was interesting. The New York Times wrote an article last week about how there is a shortage of local slaughterhouses for the rise in local farmers, which is interesting to see that. I mean, I think it is a short-term problem, but you can already see that the market is expanding and that people are putting more and more dollars into this, and then it obviously will create jobs. More local butchers, more things like that. So it's great to.
Imagine if the New York Times article I'd read, yes, for this, for the slow food or the real food movement, not enough slaughterhouse because we've kept enough farmers. We have a rise of small farmers.
Right.
First time in decades, we're not losing farmers. We're building the number of farmers. Like, yay, one for the team,
Right. And
it's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's like, imagine.
Yeah.
There's great, really investment opportunities now for entrepreneurs to create businesses around this local food, economy. Like, so who's going to create this, this slaughtering house? Like, what co-ops can, or maybe a co-op of farmers can come together, like Russ Kremer in Missouri, and it can be a farmer's own slaughterhouse. Who's going to create like the warehouse for the food? Who's going to transport it? It's like a whole new economy that actually benefits the community instead of being taken away from the community.
Yes, I think anything that can benefit the food community that reinforces the local and positive and anti-cynicism message is a great thing.
Yeah.
So if when can we see the movie? How do we see it? How do we get it?
We're opening theatrically. We've done all of this tremendous grassroots work for the past year. Fresh was a small independent movie. It still is, and so we've taken the movie out to people, to communities, saying, use it as a platform to really share what's happening locally. And we've had such a tremendous response that we are actually starting our theatrical release, and we're opening in New York at the Quad Theater on April 9th. And in following our grassroots belief and approach, we are having a whole week of events, a fresh week. The week, starting this Thursday, we have our kickoff party at the Invisible Dog, which is a new gallery in Cobble Hill, Brooklyn, on Bergen Street. And so we have a kickoff party, which is a wine and cheese tasting, and then we have workshop. We have Joel Salatin that's coming for a lecture this Sunday at Teachers College. We have a bunch of farm-to-table dinners. We have 17 restaurants who are participating and offering amazing food. And everything during the Fresh Week includes a ticket for the movie Fresh. So if you go to any of the workshops, there's in the South Bronx, we have a Chicken 101, like how to keep chicken in the city. And even if you're never going to keep chicken in your in your Manhattan fire escape, you can, you might still want to learn about it. I don't know. I think it's fascinating. So we have a canning workshop. So we have all of these really fun things, and you can even get a ticket for Fresh at the same time. So you should visit our website, freshthemovie.com, and check out what's happening in New York.
Awesome. Well, Anna, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. Cannot wait to see the whole movie. The clips look great.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's really a great opportunity to speak to you.
Okay, great. And for all of our listeners out there, go see this movie. It's fantastic.
Yes, thank you.
All right. You're listening to Snacky Tunes on heritageradionetwork.com. We got a short set from DJ Never Forget, and then we have We Are Scientists coming up right after that, playing live in the studio. There's pizza waiting for us, so we're going to get into the music so we get into the eating. Take it away.
see it grow. Like a ride, not easily offended, not let it go. From a mess to the masses, listen mania, think let's see it grow. Like a ride, not easily offended, not let it go. From a mess to the masses, all on the sky stand still, disgust, discouraged. On this precious weekend, and this love for gentlemen only. Well, these gentlemen only. And now that you're lonely, too late, let's go slowly, discouraged. We'll burn the pictures instead. When it's all over, we can barely discuss for 1 minute only. Not with a fortunate only. No, I gotta be someone else these days. It comes, it goes. A list of mania. Think it lasts, but see it grow. Like a ride, not easily offended, not let it go. From a mess to a massive. A list of mania. Think it lasts, but see it grow. Like a ride, not easily offended, not let it go. From a mess to a massive. We are Phoenix coming from Paris, France. Clap your hands with us, come on.
Yeah, Phoenix coming at you live on Snacky Tunes.
Come on, that's pretty good. You know, they won that Grammy, and I think it's pretty awesome that for the fans they put out a free 8-song EP.
Oh, that thing's free?
It's free, yeah. You can get it off their website. Just, I don't know what it is, like phoenix.com, I'm sure.
Yeah,
And you can get, it's live from Sydney, all songs from the new record. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. I think they jam out on one.
Yeah, the instrumental one. Anyway, you're listening to Snacky Tunes. We're your host, Finger on the Pulse, and in studio today we have Keith from We Are Scientists. Thank you for joining us.
All right.
Thank you for the pizza.
Yeah, it's good, right?
It's
I
amazing.
think the first time I saw you was when your Darin Forgets and your paths crossed at Fader. Didn't you play the Fader stage at CMJ?
Oh my God, years ago.
Oh,
Years
wow.
ago.
What? Yes.
Yeah, like 4 years ago.
That was my.
Okay.
I
That
didn't
was-
even remember that.
yeah.
I stage managed that. It was my first internship.
I remember a few things from it. I remember you, Silver Sun Pickups, and more cases of Red Stripe than I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, and the Rakes. Steve Aoki letting me know the Rakes were on his label.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think Fred Armisen was also just hanging out at that show.
I'm
I think
sure.
that's the thing I remember about.
It was great. It was in that storefront on the Lower East Side.
Yeah.
But they still have the table that we left there in the window.
It was a nice table.
Great table.
So anyway, you guys are back. Not back.
No, we're back.
You're
we're
back?
We took a minute.
What did you do in that minute?
I moved to Athens, Georgia for a while.
Oh.
Just to hang out and not be in New York City for a second. Chris stayed and played with his child.
Oh, Mazel Tov.
Yeah, yeah. I essentially just hung out in Athens and ate at one restaurant called The National and only drank Bullet Bourbon. That was my summer.
That's a good summer.
Yeah.
What does that restaurant serve, and what did you get?
Well, they maintain that they're sort of Mediterranean, but they're kind of Southern American with a Mediterranean, tilt to it.
Interesting.
Now it's going to sound like they're just a Mediterranean restaurant when I say that I mostly ate their hummus and olives. And
But you're a
stuff like
vegetarian.
that. Yeah.
It's common among many of the bands that we interact with that the South is not the most vegetarian friendly
No.
place in the world.
No, it's that we just drove back from South by Southwest and we stopped at this really, really amazing like counter Southern place where everybody else got fried chicken and stuff, and I got these sides, and it was readily apparent to me that the greens had been cooked with meat. And sometimes you just have to suck it up and be like, no, that's just a really nice flavor they have going there. That is not. Oh no, there's a piece of pork in there. No, that's okay.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta eat.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta
true.
eat. or get iceberg lettuce.
So now you're back.
It's true.
Yeah. Thanks. And that's what we talked about with the standard earlier, where it's like everybody wins.
Right.
So, now you're back, and you have a new record coming out.
Yeah, we have a record called Barbara that's coming out June 15th.
Any reference to Barbra Streisand?
It's not, although the amount of press she apparently will be getting from our record will be substantial because that does seem to be the reaction. So we should actually try to do some sort of sponsorship tie-in with her.
Funny enough, we were down at South WMC, and one of the biggest songs down to come out this weekend was a track called Barbra Streisand. So I wonder if there's something in the collective consciousness.
Oh boy.
Maybe it's a time for I don't know, a rebirth. Maybe it's time that maybe she's back.
Forget Weird Scientist. Barbra Streisand is back.
So it's called Barbara.
Yeah.
Coming out on.
We are actually just now finishing up the contract for the U.S. And it's coming out through a company called Pius in Europe.
Oh, they did the Soulwax record.
Probably, yeah. I don't know.
Wow. Okay.
Sorry.
We're really going back.
Yeah.
We're digging
Anyway.
it.
Man,
Go on.
I should bring you to our meetings.
Yeah.
Is this the same deal Soulwax got?
Yeah, come on. Let's see the Soulwax papers.
So it's coming on PS, and is the U.S. to be announced because it's still in contracts?
Yeah. The European deal came first, and they've sort of been spearheading the whole thing. And sort of our entire career arc has involved doing everything in Europe first, and then later on remembering that we should be doing stuff in the U.S. So our philosophy has been like, well, let's sort out Europe, make sure we're good in Europe, and then get the attention of some label by demonstrating how structured everything has been by Pius. So that's what we did, except we kept on forgetting to actually get around to doing it. So South by Southwest, weirdly for us, was like a series of meetings with people from labels, which really took us back to 2004.
Yeah, there's a time. Have you, since 2004 versus now, is the same song and dance, or do you think labels are maybe a little bit more adapted to the modern age?
I would say it's not the same song and dance, but it's not because they're adapted. It's because they realize they need to be, and they're not. Definitely every meeting we had, there was a lot of pontificating about what the future of music would be, but then a lot of like alarmed glances when we would ask what they thought that future meant. Because we have our ideas, but man, I will say labels definitely seem to want to have a foot in both worlds. Like they are not ready to give up their old structure.
Even with all the writing on the wall.
Man, you like it. Well, it's really funny because people will give a lot of lip service to like how like we're really excited about forging this new way. So anyway, the label deal looks like this, and it's pretty much like just a worse version of the deals people were getting when we signed. Like, except now they want your live show and your merchandise and stuff like that. And we're like, yeah, we will never, ever, ever, ever sign that deal.
Yeah. Well, why don't we have you play a song off the upcoming record, and then we'll talk back. I actually would like to explore a little bit more about the 360 mindset and everything. But why don't you tell us about this song?
This song is I think it's going to be the second single from Barbara. And it's called Nice Guys, and it's pretty funny because I had no idea how to actually play it by myself until South by Southwest, because pretty much my role in the band is to just play little noodly leads while the bass player lets people know what the chord structure is. So if I forget the chord structure, it's just because this will be the second time I've ever done this before. So it's Nice Guys.
Smart enough to make your mistakes and act like you want them. Walk off with residual pain and forget how you got it. If nice guys finish last anyway, well that's just your problem. If you're the nice guy, act like the nice guy. If you're the nice guy, act like the nice guy. If you want this, I want it more. If you want this, I want it more. If you want this, I want it more than you. I want it more than you. It's fine to say this isn't a game when you've already lost it. It's pointless to go through it again, but perhaps you've forgotten. You gotta know there's nothing to gain, so why even bother? If you're the nice guy, act like the nice guy. If you're the nice guy, act like the nice guy. If you want this, I want it more. If you want this, I want it more. If you want this, I want it more than you. I want it more than you. This isn't a trick, so stop overthinking everything. Just finish your drink and stop overthinking everything now. If you're the nice guy, act like the nice guy. If you're the nice guy, act like the nice guy. If you're the nice guy, act like the nice guy. If you're the nice guy, act like the nice guy. If you want this, I want it more. If you want this, I want it more. If you want this, I want it more than you. I want it more than you. I want it more than you. I want it more than you.
Yeah. Woo! Woo! That's a heater.
That's great.
Wow.
It's a heater.
It's a heater.
Oh man, that's gonna be a pull quote on the front of our record.
Oh yeah,
We are scientists.
That
That's
one's a heater.
that's a heater. I guess we're officially pressed now, so we could.
Absolutely.
So we can. We should just drop it around the corner. It's like, man, that guy's got great hair. Snacky Tunes.
Quote.
Great music to eat pizza to.
Yeah,
Snacky Tunes.
Snacky.
So I want to go back to this idea.
Hold on, wait a second. Let's talk about the song for a second.
Yeah.
Great song. And when you get back in the saddle after taking that break, what's the you have your writing process when you do your first album, and then you come back and now there's I don't want to say pressure, but there's a little, you're coming back, you're taking another swing for the fences. What's that process like?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was pretty funny. A big part of the reason I did go to Athens was that the process of, sort of making it a 9 to 5 and going into our practice space in Brooklyn every day was legitimately just not a functional way for me to write. Like, I would go in there every day and then just get really depressed, because it's in the basement of a building that's cold and awful. But, would just sit there and tell myself to write songs and wasn't really writing songs. For like a good 3 months, I think I wrote like 2 songs, maybe. And, at around 3, I'd tell myself that people I knew were probably out drinking, so I should go out drinking.
Sounds about
3
right.
p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
3 a.m. definitely out drinking.
3 a.m. Yeah, it was. I think people were unconscious at bars at the time.
Right.
But yeah, so around April, I kind of decided that I was going to do the like proverbial cabin in the woods thing. But the cabin in the woods was just a house in Athens, Georgia.
Yeah, but I mean, unless you're that type of singer-songwriter recluse where you need that, you still need stimulation. You still need people.
Right. Well, part of the reason I chose Athens was that we had just done a tour with a band called the Wigs.
Oh, yeah.
Who are from Athens, and so we had become really good friends with them. And so I knew, knowing 3 people in one town is not a huge distraction, but it is, when you need social interaction.
When you need that drink.
Yeah, exactly.
Which now came at 6 p.m.,
Well,
right?
yeah, I'm not going to lie. I did still go out drinking every day, but yeah, generally started around 6 or 7.
Which is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how long did it take you to write the album?
Well, I had allocated 3 months. Like I'd rented this place for 3 months. But in the middle of it, we ended up, Chris and I shot this like series for MTV UK. That was just like a short comedy series thing. But that of course happened right in the middle of me trying to write the record. So that was like 2 weeks right there. I came back to New York to do some demos, because we knew we wanted to, our last 2 records were on Virgin, and, Virgin EMI overall has been the hardest hit of all the major labels in this situation.
Right.
They're currently at a really depressing number 4 of the big 4. So we kind of knew we wanted to leave Virgin, so we were making these demos without their knowledge to show to other labels. So like I came back to New York at one point to record some demos and stuff. So it ended up being, I think, a total of maybe 6 weeks that I actually spent in Athens. But yeah, pretty much the entire record was written.
And what was it like walking away from Virgin, sort of based on what you were saying, that your meetings about these new crazy 360 deals, to walk away from, even though it's a depressing number 4, it's still number 4.
Yeah. I mean, it only when we really began overthinking it did it seem scary at all. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that it was the right choice. But the fact that like they would give us a big advance and theoretically dump a lot of money into marketing. Whether or not that money is dumped in the right places is another question. But it's just there's something easing about knowing that lots of money is being wasted in stupid places. But I mean, there was also the sense that we would just be like throwing our record into a black hole.
Right.
I don't know. Everybody there was really, really nice. We got along with them. It wasn't like a personal thing at all. But yeah, there was also the sense that EMI might stop existing at any time.
Yeah, I've heard rumblings of of that.
And we were talking about putting out our record in March, and that was when a lot of the whispered projections were that EMI might like disappear. And fingers crossed. Hopefully they won't.
No, and nothing is worse. I think that there's that legendary tale of the rising tide, that last Sunny Day album,
right,
where they had 1 million offers and they went with a label that I think collapsed either the week before or after the album got released, and that was essentially the biggest nightmare.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So
putting all that work into something no one's ever gonna know.
Right. Yeah, I mean, literally, when we were having the conversations about whether or not to leave with our management, the argument was literally something like, well, should we take the advance and then assume that, we can push this record on our own when the label disappears, or do we want to go with a label that, will actually go for it?
I feel like ultimately these days it's like the bands are going back to work.
Yeah.
I mean, I just from being around for a while now, it's weird about these bands who like you hustle, and then you get a little bit of success and then you stop. It's like everyone's got to work these days. There's no magic like money machine that just a U2 or a Radiohead. So it's like you just want to find a partner that will like support and champion your work.
Right.
You still got to get up, answer emails, do PR, go on the road. It's just they kind of, that myth is gone. So kids, if you want to be a musician, you got to work.
Yeah, I mean, to Virgin's benefit, they were always pretty. We've always been, I think, a weirdly proactive band that way, and like we definitely have a lot of ideas. And our campaigns were kind of like run in a pretty We Are Scientists created way, which I think they were excited about, and had the money to throw away on if they turned out to be stupid mistakes. Right. But we ended up with a lot of really cool, stupid mistakes that we made on their behalf.
Yeah. So why don't we get you to do another song? I'd like to try to get a few in
All right.
today. And then we'll come back and talk about what's coming up next for you guys, summer, etc.
Le Tour.
The tour, and
The
yes.
Grand Tour.
So what is this one?
I think this one might be from our last record. I mean, I know this one is from our last record, but I may choose to play one from our last record on this one because I only know how to play very few of our songs on acoustic guitar.
Okay.
So this one's called After Hours.
This door is always open. This door is always open. No one has the guts to shut us out. But if we have to go now, I guess there's always hope that someplace will be serving after hours. This night is winding down, but the time means nothing. As always at this hour, our time means nothing. One final round, 'cause time means nothing. Say that you'll stay. Say that you'll stay. We're fine, drunk enough that we're fine, soaking up the eyes that everyone else throws away. And if we have to go now, I guess there's always hope. Tomorrow night will be more of the same. This night is winding down, but time means nothing. As always at this hour, our time means nothing. One final round, 'cause time means nothing. Say that you'll stay. Say that you'll stay. Say that you'll stay. We're all right where we're supposed to be. 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 This door is always open. This door is always open. No one has the guts to shut us out. No one has the guts to shut us out. Time means nothing. Time means nothing. One final round, 'cause time means nothing. Say that you'll stay. Say that you'll stay. Say that you'll stay.
Woo! Yes. That was great.
Hey,
That's fantastic.
There it is.
There it is.
There it
There's
is.
a song.
There's a song. It's a little odd when there's just like two people in here. It's like the
yeah,
clapping
but
always sounds underappreciated.
You should know that we
have
have thousands and thousands of listeners.
like millions upon millions.
Wait a minute.
Snacky Tunes,
We are
1.2 billion listeners.
Yeah.
It's actually, I don't know if you guys know this. That's really good.
That's
It's real. You know, we
we're-
try.
We're trying. We are scientists live in studio in Snacky Tunes talking about the upcoming record, and you know what happens with new records is that you get to go on tour.
Yes.
So when
Indeed.
if I was living somewhere in this world,
Yes.
would I
Anywhere in
get
the
to
world.
see you? And if so, when?
The answer, yeah. If you were living anywhere in this world or somewhere, that is, you would see us. Well, we're doing the European festival circuit.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun.
So it is. Well, yeah. I mean, there are a lot of days where you just find yourself in the middle of a really hot barren field in Germany somewhere. at like 2 p.m, waiting for your set at midnight, and watching a lot of insane German like local bands who got the early slot.
Oh yeah,
which is pretty good. I mean, I don't know,
but there
are way worse jobs.
But it seems like a very communal thing because if you look at those tours, the same acts sort of just migrate west to east or east to west.
It's true. It's true.
And with the same traveling art and craft and light.
Yeah, it is. It is. I do feel like the European festivals are kind of like high school reunion kind of things, where all of your friends that you haven't seen because they've all been on tour all year kind of end up in the same place. So you get the festival guy and you're like, who are my friends here? And where will they be at what time? All right.
Any festivals you're looking forward to? Anyone where it's not going to be the hot German field?
I mean, the Glastonbury and Reading and Leeds. Actually, I don't know if I'm supposed to say we're doing Glastonbury, but if we were doing Glastonbury,
you can't see, but he's winking right now.
Well,
there's a lot of air quoting going around.
I really hope we get Glastonbury this year because that one will be cold and wet for sure. Yeah. So that will be the antithesis. There is one. Oh man, there's one that we're not actually doing this year called Benicassim in Spain. That is amazing. It's outside of Valencia, and it's right near the ocean, and it's pretty much the finest location for a festival that you could possibly want. But we're not doing. But that one we are not doing this year.
What's the food situation like on these German European tours? Overall, and then veg friendly. What are we talking here?
You know what? They're European hotels tend to do a pretty sweet like breakfast buffet thing that will have a lot of like eggs and cheese and like just salads out for breakfast and stuff. So that's always pretty good. I'm always pretty excited when I wake up in the morning in Europe, and then always sad when I have to eat dinner. Because
dinner is really meat and 3 type of deal over there.
Yeah.
So are you playing any shows in Brooklyn or New York soon?
We actually don't have anything set up in New York.
So booking agents, get on it.
I know, right? Yeah, I think America is going to be in the fall for us.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we gotta wait.
Yeah, I think.
If only we had a radio show to bring you on to play. Oh,
it turns out you didn't have to wait at all.
This is pretty clever. So I'd love to get
This is pretty clever. Thank you.
I'd love to get one more song out of you, but first, thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
It was a joy. I'm glad we were able to get you while you were home before you get to European and the exhaustion that comes with being on the road for so long.
Yeah.
At hot German fields.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll play the song that you started.
That'd be great. That's like a nice little. We like a bookend.
Yeah. Anyway, this is Snacky Tunes on heritageradionetwork.com. Thank you as always to Roberta's for the delicious food, and thank you to TechServe for sponsoring the show.
And Anna from Fresh documentary.
Anna from Fresh
and Terry. Happy birthday.
Hey, right back at you. Never forget, happy birthday. If you are in Philadelphia tonight, never forget we'll be spinning at Tiger Beats at the Barbary. I unfortunately cannot make it down because of the editing process that rolls on and on. You know how it goes.
And
work.
Hello, girls. No? Anybody? Nah. And make sure to stay tuned. We will have information going up on FOTPNYC.com for the premiere party. And it's open to the public, so you just go to RCP. CS Kictronics, Bad Brilliance, Alvar Simone, Vega DJ sets, Andrew WK hosting, free booze.
Sam Mason, Tutran. We'll be there. Not like you really care, but we'll be there.
Keisa will be there, so celebrities will be in town.
Definitely be there.
So we're gonna close us out.
Yeah. This one is called "Rules Don't Stop." Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course.
Thanks for the pizza. Wow, what you're eating while I'm playing, you tormentor.
Don't be alarmed, it's not the end of the world. If we're breaking the rules, it's fine. I disregard this kind of problem all the time. It's not as if it's gonna kill anyone.